Welcome back to a new episode. First of all, I'm of course so sorry. It's been quite some time since my last one, but seriously, our life has been absolutely crazy the last weeks. First thing that happened, we have a special guest here also with us today. Minnie, you need to be on good behavior. We're on camera. she's she's really in her biting phase now, but I cannot put into words just how much she already changed our lives, but also how insane of a life change it actually was. So, quick disclaimer, I have never had a dog in my life. So I have zero experience, but it's always something I really, really wanted. And Jacob and I had been talking about it for quite a while. And we also recently just moved. So that's been the second really big life change, that we moved from Barcelona to Dubai. And it's been really a lot. But I have to say, all in all, we feel like it's been the best decision. We love our new place. And we feel like we found some sort of base and stability now, which was really our main goal, because it's just been too much the last years. If you've been following me, you know just how crazy much we've been moving and how much back and forth it was and just how intense. So I feel like we're starting to find calmness and find kind of our place. And then we were like, okay, if there is a moment for us to get a dog, then it's now. And so we got Minnie. She's a golden retriever puppy. She's 10 weeks old. And yeah, she has definitely been keeping us on our toes. It's crazy how many parallels there are between puppies and babies. Not that I ever had a baby, but also what I heard from my friends who have babies. It's really crazy, like the sleep deprivation at night, and just that you literally have zero time for yourself anymore. And you really need to figure out what you prioritize and what you spend your time on. Because yeah, of course, she just takes up so much. And especially for me, I just spent so much time recently just learning everything about how to educate her, how to live with a dog, basically. Yeah, she's so sweet. I mean, right now she's on her sweetest behavior because she also really started the whole biting phase. It hurts like hell and it's so exhausting, but I know it's just a phase. So we're going to get through this. But this episode is, of course, not about Minnie. It's about a topic that I also actually spent quite a lot of time recently researching, especially with this move now. I really wanted to figure out how can we create a home that is as low toxic as possible, especially for me personally in terms of balancing my hormones, because it's really crazy how much our environment impacts our hormones, and unfortunately also how much we're exposed to toxins. And that's also a disclaimer I want to make right away, that once you start really digging deep into that topic of toxins, it's insane what a deep rabbit hole it is, and just how it can also literally drive you crazy, because in the world we live in today, it's absolutely impossible, first of all, to avoid toxins because they're just unfortunately literally everywhere. But also it's just really focusing on the big wins and the things that really make a big difference to not go crazy. We cannot focus on everything, but there are really certain things, especially in our home, that are really, really good to focus on. Because the thing is, we do spend 90% of our time indoors. And of course, depending on your work, for both me and my husband, we're working from home. So most of these 90% are in our home. So yeah, it really is one of the most powerful places to start. And in this episode, we're gonna focus on these big wins in our home. What can we do? And I want to start right away with one of the biggest wins, with the biggest leverage as well. And that is the air we breathe. So the air quality in our home, which is oftentimes 2 to 3 times, sometimes even up to 9 times worse than outdoor air. Again, of course, depends where you live. So if you live really like right next to a highway or in an area where you know the outdoor air is really, really bad, then this advice definitely does not apply to your case. But if you have decent outdoor air quality, then one of the most important things and the best things to do is to ventilate properly, definitely every morning and every night. So right after waking up, 5 to 10 minutes and before going to sleep. Also definitely when cooking, especially if you have a gas oven, making sure there's a lot of ventilation going, opening your windows, getting fresh air. But then one thing that is definitely an investment that I would say is so worth it though, is to invest in a good air purifier. Because again, the air we breathe has a huge impact on our health. We're breathing about 20,000 breaths a day. So imagine if all these breaths are filled with toxins, what that does to your body. So an air purifier can really make a dramatic difference. I'm actually going to blend in a picture for you of the filter that I recently changed in our air purifier. So on the right, you can see the new one. And I think it's really insane to see how that used air purifier filter looks, like how much dirt and just stuff is in there that was in the air. So that's so crazy to think about. And therefore, if you can invest some of your money into it, I would really highly recommend it. And I would look out for two things. First of all, that you have a HEPA filter, so HEPA. That's definitely super important. And also that you can make sure it has either a night version or like a night setting, or just some way where you can regulate it so that it's just not super, super loud during the night. But then it's really good to turn it on full high speed before you go to bed. So like maybe half an hour before you go to sleep, just letting it run super high. And then during the night, maybe on a lower setting. And maybe one more thing to look out for, that the replacement filters are not crazy, insanely expensive, but that they're reasonably priced, because you do have to replace them regularly. And another huge thing in terms of air quality, and I am going to die on this hill, but it is to avoid fragrance as much as you possibly can. The more I've been reading about this topic and researching it, the more I'm just really mind blown that it is actually allowed to put fragrance into products, and just the whole way it's actually set up. Because the really crazy thing is that companies do not have to say what exactly is in the fragrance they use, because fragrances are handled as a trade secret. So they don't have to declare what exactly it entails. And when it's been investigated, it's been found so many times that there are crazy, crazy toxic elements and chemicals in fragrance that are highly hormone disruptive. And I was really mind blown by especially one study that found that when women avoided fragrance products for just 1 week, the folate levels in their bodies dropped by more than half. More than half in just 1 week. Isn't that completely crazy? And so the number one things to look out for is, of course, any kind of room fragrances, these sticks that look very, very pretty and that you put on a shelf, but that are really, unfortunately, highly toxic. Also, scented candles, which is really something I also feel like it's just crazy, because I feel like it's something so normal to have in your home and something so also aesthetic and feels like such a wellness product, but it's horrible for our hormones and our health. So really, if you have scented candles at home, I would highly recommend you to throw them out, get rid of them. Same, of course, with any kind of product we use, anything we use on our skin, especially that's lasting on our skin, like body lotion or deodorant. So anything that stays on the skin longer, that's even more important to look out for, that it doesn't have fragrance, because especially our skin, it just soaks it in, but also through the air, breathing it in into our lungs, and it gets into the whole body. So wherever you can, really make that swap and throw it out and go for the natural version. Also, for example, washing detergent, because our clothes stay on our skin the whole day. And I really think it's not necessary that it's smelling crazy nice. Using one that is fragrance-free is going to be something your health will really notice, or you will really notice in your body. And that actually brings me to the next area, which is our bedroom. Because again, somewhere we spend so much time, like minimum 7 to 8 hours every night, which is in like an average life about 26 years, which is also crazy. And think about lying in your bed, where we're just really exposed to all the materials and also breathing in everything. And so one of the most powerful things to look for is a really good mattress. Because unfortunately, most conventional mattresses are made with synthetic foams that are derived from petroleum. And they contain these VOCs, which are these really harmful chemicals. And you can literally smell them. For example, if you unpack a new mattress and you feel like it's this new smell, it's actually not new, it's just chemicals, and unfortunately really toxic. And that is one of the reasons I switched to a Hevea mattress, and I'm super excited that Hevea is sponsoring this episode. So they are producing 100% organic natural latex mattresses that are made from rubber trees on the world's first certified organic latex plantation. So they are completely petroleum free. They have no toxic flame retardants, no VOCs. And what I love about them actually, especially next to the whole non-toxic aspect, is that they're also super comfortable because they have a very sturdy firm mattress and then a super soft cover or like top mattress. So you get the perfect combination of soft but still really kind of sturdy but super cozy. And we've been sleeping amazing on this mattress. Also Minnie, she's been sleeping so well. And yes, she's sleeping in our bed. I know there are very controversial opinions around this, but we decided we're going to have her in our bed. Let's see if we're going to regret it when she's fully grown and really, really big. But so far, we really love it. So yeah, it's been an amazing sleeping experience, and it comes with a super beautiful bamboo cover with organic cotton filling, and you can unzip it and wash it. And I always love anything that you can wash, because there you can also really get rid of so many toxins. Also, for example, our sofa, this cloud sofa, which we really love, is 100% linen and also washable. So that was really one of the main reasons I was super in love with it, because that's just so nice. Of course, also because it's white, so it's like probably gonna be very needed that you can wash it. But anyways, coming back to the mattress, what's also amazing is that they don't use any metal in the construction, which means no electromagnetic radiation while you sleep. And last thing, for every mattress sold, they adopt 1 acre of rainforest. So that's just so nice. So if you're in the market for a new mattress, I would highly recommend checking out Havea. I'm going to put the link into the show notes and down below into the description. They, by the way, also make super nice sheets and pillowcases and duvets. And that's another super important thing, right? Because again, that's what we're in contact with the whole night. And so looking for 100% organic cotton or bamboo, I chose bamboo because it's a bit cooler and also has this silky feeling. So it's really super soft. And same thing with pajamas, looking for sleepwear or pajama that is as natural as possible. So again, either 100% organic cotton, silk, bamboo. It really makes a huge difference. And I think the problem with this whole topic is that it's so difficult to actually really see the difference, right? Because we cannot really look inside our body and see all the chemicals and all the metals and everything that's accumulating. I mean, there are for sure certain tests you can take, but like in our daily life, we don't really notice it, right? But it really shows in symptoms like fatigue, brain fog, skin issues, hormonal imbalances, fertility problems, and chronic inflammation. Because, of course, our bodies are amazing at detoxing, right? Our liver is working nonstop to get rid of all the toxins in our body, same as our kidneys and our lymphatic system, but they only have a limited capability, right? So we want to make it easy for them. We want to make it as easy for our organs as possible. So we want to keep the toxic load as low as possible. And so let's continue. What are more things that we can do? Taking a quick look into the kitchen, where I think so many toxins are hidden that we have absolutely no idea about. And again, where it's just, I feel so often so criminal that products are sold to us where we have no idea how toxic they actually are for us. And the first thing is our pans. So the pans that we cook with, which so often are sold to us with this non-stick coating, which unfortunately is really bad for us because it contains these PFAS or PFAS. And those are also called forever chemicals because they literally do not die. Our body cannot break them down. So they build up in our blood, in our organs, in our environment. And studies have shown that these PFAS are linked to thyroid disease, liver damage, fertility issues, and also certain cancers. And about 97% of the population already has measurable levels of PFAS in their blood. I think it's so crazy to think about. So every little bit that we can reduce really does matter. So in pans, what we want to look for is cast iron. That's really amazing. It's virtually indestructible. It gets better with age. And it also adds a small amount of iron to our food. So that's super nice. Then another great option is stainless steel. And there are really good ceramic options as well that are genuinely PFAS free. Then we also want to look at our storage and kitchen tools and just as best as we can avoid any plastic. And instead going for, again, stainless steel or glass. And especially if you have a microwave, never ever putting any plastic into the microwave, even if it says it can be put into the microwave. I still would definitely not ever do it because all that means is that it's not gonna be destroyed. So it's not gonna explode in your microwave, but it does not mean that you're gonna be plastic free from it. Because if you heat up plastic, there is gonna be some leakage of that plastic into the food. So just really not putting it into the microwave ever. Also, if you have plastic cutting boards, there you can also often see that when you use them a lot, you get these scratches in it. So you're literally eating the plastic with your food. So with cutting boards, we want to go for wood or bamboo boards that are also naturally antibacterial and really so much safer. Another huge topic is, of course, our water. And that, again, depends so much on where you live. The water quality is so different from even city to city, right? In general, it's always good to have a filter, or at least a jug filter. And by the way, also for cooking, I always thought that you can just use tap water for cooking, like boiling your pasta and so on, because all bacteria is just gonna die when you heat it up, right? But it's actually not true with all the chlorine and all the stuff in the water that it doesn't help boiling it. It's still gonna be there, and then it's gonna be in our food. So also when you cook, trying to use filtered water only. And the same is also true for the water in our shower. So if you can, installing a shower filter into your shower is so beneficial in so many different ways. First of all, of course, again, our skin absorbs water so much, especially if you like to shower really warm or even hot, because then our pores open up, and also there's a lot more steam that we breathe in. So we literally soak in and breathe in all the chlorine and chloramine from the water. And chlorine in shower water can irritate our skin, our lungs. It dries out also our hair. So also, if you want to have healthy hair, a shower filter is one of the best investments you can make. And it also disrupts our skin's microbiome, which we obviously really do not want. And a shower filter is actually a relatively cheap swap. It's usually around 30 to 40 euros, and it can remove over 90% of chlorine. So if you've especially ever noticed your skin feeling really dry, or your hair also feeling kind of straw-like after you washed it, then a shower filter is gonna change your life. So try it out and let me know if you did. And so these are really the main things that I have now focused on, because they are just so big wins. But again, it is an insanely huge topic, and the more you look into it, the more you're gonna find that you can change or that you can do, and it can feel crazy overwhelming. But my biggest advice would be to maybe start with one area in your home, or one thing like the fragrance or the air quality or the kitchen products, and over time just making these small changes. Because again, I also do know it is an investment, because oftentimes these products are just a little bit more pricey, and it also sometimes requires a lot of time, which can be money as well, right? Of researching, and which is actually the best brand. And that just, by the way, reminds me that a really nice kitchen tool brand is called Our Place. I love their products. I'm also gonna link it for you down below. But yeah, I really hope this episode wasn't too overwhelming or also too scary. I think sometimes also when you then hear about all of this, it can really freak you out also a bit, because you're just like, oh my God, have I just been intoxicating myself now all this time? But again, I think we should just try to do the best we can with the knowledge we have, with the time we have and the resources, and also choosing for yourself what are things that are easy for you to replace, and just remembering that every small thing counts. And then it's okay if there are certain things that maybe are not the best and you do keep using them, but you make better choices in other areas, because for me, for example, there are certain makeup products and hair care products that I know do have fragrance. They're not clean. They're probably not good for me, but I love them so much, and I haven't found a better alternative yet. So I'm just like, we cannot be perfect. We cannot avoid all toxins. So it is what it is. Making the choices that are good for you, for your lifestyle, your personal preferences, and not going crazy on the way, not stressing yourself, because stress is also not good for us, right? So trying to take it calm. And I really hope, though, that this episode was helpful for you. Let me know. Also, if there's anyone in your life that you feel like would benefit from this information, definitely send it to them. That would mean a lot to me. If you have any questions or feedback, please leave it down below. And again, I'm really sorry that it took so long now for a new episode, but I am totally back with my weekly episode. So every Wednesday, there's going to be a new one. If you have any topic requests, let me know. Write it down in the comments, send me a message, and thank you so much from my whole heart for being here, for listening. I cannot believe how many listeners this podcast has gained, especially on Spotify. I think the last episode now has over 40,000 listens, which is absolutely mind-blowing to me and just so crazy. It's super surreal, but it really means so much more to me than you know. So thank you so much for being here, and I'm gonna see you next week. Bye.